15 consequences for a man and a woman of drinking beer. 15 consequences. But today, we're simply going to present just 5 consequences. The first consequence of drinking beer. Number 1, drinking beer steals your money. Instead of using that money to buy something else, that money ends up going to support a certain person, a certain group of people. You should remember, brewing companies have existed in our country for a very long time, 110 years, 115 years, 120 years. And so, beer will remain, and you will pass on. Be careful with what you do. By buying beer, you are spending money. The second consequence is that when you drink beer, you become vulnerable. At any moment, you can get sick. When you drink in the morning, by noon, by 1 o'clock, you have headaches. If you drink at midnight, at 1 in the morning, you start to become a bit of a vulnerable man. At any moment, you can get bitten by a mosquito and the next day, you become sick. So most people who drink beer rarely, hardly ever make it to 75 because they're addicted to beer. So, be careful. When you drink beer, you can get cirrhosis of the liver. When you drink beer, you think you're gaining weight, but actually, it's diabetes slowly taking you down, so be careful. And so, I'm speaking to someone this morning. You who drink beer regularly, be careful with what you're doing. The third consequence is becoming dependent before going to sleep. Most people tell me, Pastor, I can't sleep because I simply have to drink beer to sleep well. Be careful. When you were born, you weren't born with beer. So if you create a dependency on beer, then beer becomes the master of your life. So the consequence is that most people become addicted, dependent on beer to sleep. Pastor, I can't sleep because I don't drink beer. I have to drink beer to sleep. And so for you, beer becomes a sleeping pill, and that's very dangerous. So, you are basically mocking God who gave you sleep for free. You no longer know how to respect night and day. Be careful with beer. That's one of the consequences. The fourth consequence is that you are no longer in control of yourself. At a certain point, you become a ridiculous person. Your reputation is ruined, and most women ended up getting AIDS simply because they were drunk, and a man took advantage of her drunkenness, and a few days later, she realizes she has AIDS and is HIV positive. And many men, at a certain point, when they drink beer, are tempted to go looking for women here and there, and especially red beer. Dark beer, people who drink it very often always end up very badly. You're used to drinking beer. You can never be strong unless you drink beer. So be careful, my dear. So you become dependent. The fifth consequence is that at a certain point, your reputation could be completely ruined. You'll end up as a kind of drunkard. Let's remember, even some ministers, when they arrive, they're signing documents, but they're drunk. They're signing while dozing off. People will make fun of you. You will keep drinking more and more beer. Be careful about that.